Hello, Math Studies students. All right, today we're going to do questions 20E part number 2. Okay, so let's do this example. The homework is just like this. So find the equation of the tangent to the curve at this point where x equals 0. Okay, so the first thing I need to know is what is the value of y when x equals 0? So y is equal to 0 cubed minus 4 times 0 squared minus 6 times 0 plus 8. Well, y is going to be equal to 8, so the point that we're concerned about is 0, 8. All right, now we want to find the equation for the tangent. So what we've got to do is we need to figure out the derivative, dy dx, or we could write it as y prime, right? And so the derivative gives us the slope, right? This is equal to the slope. So what's the derivative? The power comes to the front, decreases by 1. Here the power comes to the front. We're going to multiply the 2 times 4, which gives me 8x, and then this gives me negative 6, and then the 8 just goes away. So here is my derivative equation, and we're going to plug in 0 in place of x. So when x equals 0, we get the derivative is equal to 3 times 0 squared minus 8 times 0 minus 6, which is equal to negative 6. Okay, so that's our slope. All right, so with that information, I'm going to use the relationship y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? That's the equation for slope, right? And we know the slope is negative 6. Now, instead of y1 and x1, I'm going to use the 0 and the 8. So now I'm going to have y minus 8 over x minus 0 is equal to, this is our slope formula, and our slope is negative 6. Okay, so now we can simplify this. I can multiply x on both sides of the equation. If I multiply x on both sides of the equation, then that cancels out with that. And then I have y minus 8 equals negative 6x. And so add 8 on both sides, I get y equals negative 6x plus 8. Okay, now we're trying to figure out, so this is the equation of the tangent when x equals 0. That's the answer for part A. Part B says, at what point does the tangent meet the curve again? So we're going to use technology. And if we get our calculator and I hit y equals and type in the equations, okay, there we get the equations. Oh, one thing to look for, make sure you use minus and minus here and a negative symbol here. Otherwise, you're going to have an error. Okay, so if I hit graph, I get this. Okay, so I can't see the whole graph. I need to change the window. I hit window. I'm going to make the y values a little bigger. I'm going to hit y max is 20, make the y min negative 20. I'm going to hit graph now. We should get more of the graph. There we go. And we're trying to figure out at what point does the tangent meet the curve again. So when x is 0, we know that meets the curve at this point. Now we want to find out this point here. So when we're trying to figure out when it meets again, we're going to have to do the intersection. So to figure out the intersection, we hit second and trace, second, trace, and then we choose 5 for intersect. Okay, then after we do that, it says first curve, and it has the equation of the cubic graph. And I need to move the arrow closer to this intersection here. If it's not close to it, then it's going to find this intersection, which we already know and this intersection here is 0, 8, right? Okay, so we want to find this intersection, so I move it kind of close to it. Doesn't have to be exact. All right, I hit enter. It says second curve, and it's got the equation of the straight line. Great. So then I hit enter again. It says guess. We hit enter again, and then it says the intersection is 4, -16. So let's repeat these instructions. Second trace 5. We typed in our equations. Well, first we have to type in the equations. Into calculator. Okay, and then we got our graph. It looked like this. Then, after we hit second trace 5, it said first equation, and we moved the arrow to the right, so we got close to this intersection here. And then we hit enter. And then it said second equation, and when it said second equation, we also kept it somewhere over here, and we hit enter. All right, and then it says guess, and we hit enter. And then it tells us our intersection is 4, -16. And this should help you with today's assignment. All right, Mustangs, good luck.